Alright, so week 6 of the NFL season is upon us. And for the Chicago Bears, they will be at home against the Green Bay Packers, the arch rival Green Bay Packers. In this video, just like the last, I will give you all 5 keys that the Bears should do to be able to win this game. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video, back at it with another prediction video. Not much to be said about this game. Bears-Packers, one of the oldest rivalry, one of the premier rivalries in football, one of the oldest rivalries in football. Every time these two teams meet up is always fun. For the Bears, it's been a struggle against the Packers recently. We have not won against the Packers since, that 2018 season, but things are looking up for the Bears right now. They're on a win streak, and they're playing pretty good football. So, let's get started. Starting with point number 1 is let Justin Fields play. What I mean by that is let him loose, let him play. The Packers secondary will be without Jaire Alexander. At least they will probably be without Jaire Alexander, who is on IR. And the Packers haven't looked, especially their defense, haven't looked good. They have been without Zadarius Smith. They have been without Jaire Alexander. And there are still some pieces that you can attack on this Packers secondary. One thing I think that should serve the Bears well is let Justin Fields play a little bit more. You know, last week wasn't a bad game for him. It was pedestrian. It was good. He played very well, don't get me wrong. But I feel like there's more to be unlocked. I feel like we're still just getting a tease of what he can do. The week before against the Lions, it was just like a little tease. This week last week against the Raiders was more like a tease. This should be the game where he cements himself as the future, the franchise of this team. I'm not saying he hasn't already, but we need to see some of that highly scouted talent perform. We need to let him loose, let him throw. You know, let him do the things he did in college against this Packers team. Packers secondary is okay, but they're not as good as years past. Packers defense has always been middle of the tier, especially against the run, which brings me into my next point, is continue the success you had running the ball last week. Obviously, we will be without David Montgomery, who is basically on an IR stint. But last week showed that we have good depth in Damian Williams and in Khalil Herbert. And I think the Bears should attack that Packers interior. I don't know how good they are against the run, but from my past experience watching the Packers, you know, they're pretty mediocre against it. And we haven't used the run to our advantage against this team in a while. That being said, we have good running backs on this roster. You have Damian Williams, you have Khalil Herbert, who gashed that Raiders interior. The Packers will be looking for you to pass. They're going to try to force Justin Fields to pass. And, you know, they're going to try to force the Bears to do like little short routes and all that. So, best way to counteract that is getting that 5-10 yards on the ground, then hitting them with play action. You know, setting up the run sets up everything. And for the Packers, you know, they have never been great against the run. I wouldn't say they're bad against it, but they're just an okay against the run. So I think that running the ball, like always, will be a key in this game, especially against the Packers team, because you do not want them to just tee off on Justin Fields. Which brings me to my next point. Protect Justin Fields. If there's one thing about the Packers, it's that they always seem to generate, no matter who's on that defensive line, they always seem to generate pressure. You know, they've been without Zadarius Smith. They've been without, has Kenny Clark played? I think he has played. They have some injuries on that pass rush, but none bigger than Zadarius Smith. So that's a plus for the Bears, but at at the same time, I think they still have Rashawn Gary over there, who's another very good player in my opinion. And let's be honest, the Packers played the Bengals last week, and I don't know how many sacks they recorded in general, but it seemed like Joe Burrow was getting hit a lot in the backfield. And for the Bears, we do not have the best offensive line. So what I'm thinking they should do, if they're going to be effective on offense, you might need to, bring the running back in for a block. Call max protect. Get the ball out of Fields' hands quickly. Don't let him sit back there and take a beating. Because this pass rush is still dangerous. You still have Preston Smith. You still have Kenny Clark. Protect your quarterback at all costs, because the Packers are going to be looking to get Justin Fields on the ground. You're going to be looking to get him uncomfortable in the pocket. So protect your quarterback at all costs, and please don't let him take 9 sacks like he did against the Browns. Last week was a better week for the Bears O-line, but he still took some hits. I'd like to see that improve in this Packers game, because they're going to need it. What's another thing? Point number 4 is, and it always seems to be a point when they play the Packers, is to start getting to Aaron Rodgers. This Bears defense has shown up in the past, since week number 2, they have shown up and they have played well. Against the Packers, they always seem to play decent enough to put their team in a winning position, but the offense has never responded in those key moments. Now, this year, I feel like we have a chance because of who's at quarterback, but at the same time, you still need to get to Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers for the Packers, he's been pretty good these past few weeks. However, if you can tell, the Packers' offense has been a little out of sync as of recently. Last week against the Bengals, they played a very sloppy game. Both teams played a very sloppy game, in my opinion. Bunch of missed field goals, a lot of missed throws. But it just seems like the Packers' offense isn't as unbeatable as it once was. The Packers aren't invincible like they were. They don't have that invincible aura to them this year. Part of that is because their offense is not in sync. I'm not saying they're still not good. Devontae Adams, he's a monster. You still got Aaron Jones in the backfield. He's also a monster. Marquez Valdes-Scantling, who I think is a very good player. And then you have the MVP, Aaron Rodgers, in the backfield. That guy always gives them a chance to win. But they've been out of sync recently, and I think the Bears need to take advantage of that. Get those 2-3 sacks early. Make Rodgers uncomfortable. Make him make some throws he wish he can have back. You also need to win the turnover battle as well. Get turnovers against this team. I really think the Packers, they don't turn the ball over much, especially Aaron Rodgers. But, when they play the Bears, it always seems to be this gritty style of football being played. So, getting to Rodgers is a very key component. I don't know how good the Packers' offensive line is. I think they kept the same offensive line for 4+ years now, and they've been okay against the Bears. They haven't shut out the Bears recently. I think the way Khalil Mack is playing, who's on a pace to be Defensive Player of the Year, in my opinion, he should be in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. You have Comeback Player of the Year, Robert Quinn. Regarding Akeem Hicks, if he does play, that's another guy. You just got Goldman back. Still have Belial Nichols. No matter how good your offensive line is for the Packers, and they're a good unit, they're not going to be able to guard and block all those guys all at once, especially if Akeem Hicks is healthy and he's playing. So getting to Rodgers is important to get the Packers out of the game. And point number 5, the secondary, again, needs to have a good showing. They did have a great showing last week. You held the Raiders to 9 points. And I get the Raiders don't have, Devontae Adams on their team. But they have a top 5 tight end in Darren Waller. They had a pretty good receivers in Hunter Renfrow and Henry Ruggs, and you still held that team to 9 points. For the secondary, specifically, you're going to need to always track where Davante Adams is going to be. Your slot corner is going to have to be on his game, whether that's Duke Shelley, whether that's Marquis Christian. No matter who it is, he's going to have to be on his game. Kindle Vildor is going to have to be on his game because he's probably going to be guarding Marquez Valdez-Scantling. He's very fast and who has always burned the Bears in these past 2 matchups. And for Jalen, you're going to have to look out for Davante Adams. He's a very great route runner, very good receiver, has great chemistry with Aaron Rodgers. You still have Robert Tonyan to deal with, which the linebackers will have to deal with coming over the middle. So the Packers have weapons on offense. If the secondary can put up a performance like they did last week against that team, against like that Las Vegas team, they should be able to win this game. If the Bears go out there and give up like an opening drive touchdown off of, like a Valdez-Scantling 40-yard bomb by Aaron Rodgers, yeah, you have something to worry about. But let's say they go out there and they get, a 3-and-out on their first drive. That will inspire confidence within this team. And they'll be like, hey, we can lock this team up a little bit. Packers are very good offensively, especially with Aaron Rodgers back there. But they're not invincible. They've been out of sync. I think if the secondary can play nearly as good as they played last week, they win this game. Period. Just keep an eye out for Davante Adams and keep an eye out for the X Factor, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, because usually Davante Adams is going to take up most of the attention and guys are going to forget about the supporting cast that Rodgers has. Not to mention Allen Lazard coming in. So, keep an eye out for that. And yeah, that was my 5 points. Now we get to the important part. The final score for this game, for me, who I think wins this game, personally, I'm going with the Bears 27-24. Now, I say that with an asterisk too, because this game could be crazy. It could be low scoring. It could be high scoring. You never know which Packers team you're going to get. You never know what Bears team you're going to get. Ultimately, I think something around 27-24 would be all right. Packers always seem to play very well against the Bears, and the Bears seem to play them very tough. So it's like this matchup, especially this week, with a different quarterback at the helm in Justin Fields. The Bears having success as of recently. This makes this game very hard to score. But 27-24 seems like a realistic score to me. I don't see the Packers rattling off 35 points. But I don't see them losing by more than a field goal. For the Bears, I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say, what is the 27 points for? I have confidence that they can score 27 as long as they keep doing what they've been doing. That starts with running the ball and letting Justin Fields play, let him be effective. He doesn't have to make the splash play all the time. Basically, just take care of the ball, rely on your defense, and score points, basically. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you leave a comment. Leave your prediction in the comment section. I will be reading them. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Make sure you subscribe because it helps me make more content, helps grow the channel, and it inspires me to think that you guys are watching these videos. Follow me on social media. Links will be down in the description. Share this video with your friends, your coworkers. Before the big game, I will be tweeting live throughout the game on Sunday. And yeah, I'm out. Peace.